Hey everybody, it's Jim with Triple J Bricks. Welcome back to another video. So in the last video, I went through and had to sort of move a lot of the bulk Lego that I had in the storage area behind there because of the water damage and the water fiasco. If you haven't seen that video, it'll be up here somewhere. Yeah, so that was a mess, but that's all cleaned up. And I moved all of the bulk Lego into proper bins in my garage. And it kind of prompted me to think about, because I really hadn't touched those boxes. As you saw in the last video, like, I hadn't touched those boxes. This is Lego I bought, almost 2 years ago now. Some of it was most of it was like spring and summer of 2023, and then maybe a couple in 2024. But I kind of stopped buying that bulk Lego, and all of that is now in those bins is from Goodwill finds. And the reason I kind of stopped buying was, one, I just kind of stopped buying bulk Lego like that, and two, Goodwill finds kind of changed a little bit. Like, it got a little bit more expensive. I think you can still maybe find some of those deals, but I haven't been on there in a little while. But I know that they kind of started to adjust their prices a little bit, and I was always getting those on as many deals as possible. So a lot of times they would have where it would be they would put it on clearance, and then they would do clearance or like a sale discount, like a percentage discount. And then sometimes I would get emails from Goodwill Finds saying 50% off clearance, all clearance items. So then I would go through, or 50% off, discounted items or whatever it was. And so then what I would do is oftentimes I would wait for those times to then look at any of the bulk boxes of Lego that were clearanced or discounted and then make the purchase, because you do have to pay shipping. So I have a bunch of this bulk Lego, boxes and boxes of it. I think it was like 13 or 14 boxes, and that's not including the boxes that I had already sorted. So, and which was maybe 4, something like that. So after doing all of that, in the last video, I started to pull out any figs that I saw. Now, I was not doing any digging. I was literally just, when I was dumping the boxes into the bins, any figs that I saw when I opened the box or anything that I saw, I pulled out. So I was not really doing a deep dive. It was really just what I could see, and then I just started pulling. So I had those sitting out, and I cleaned them, processed them, and I have put them up on my bricklink store. Well, they're not on there yet. They will be. But I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a test and do a little math, because kind of doing that whole process kind of made me wonder, how much value do I really have in these boxes? And of course, I don't know that number yet, because I don't really know exactly what's in it. But I decided to do a little test here with just the few minifigs that I found, and do a little test. I went back and looked at all of my Goodwill Finds purchases, and I purchased 142 pounds of Lego in total. That's roughly estimated. They do weigh all of the boxes, and they send you an image of the weight. So of course you have to, there's non-Lego in there, the box weight, etc. But let's just, you can only do so much exact math with this. So in total, I spent $723 on 142 pounds of Lego. So if you multiply the 142 pounds by 300, which is roughly estimated to be the number of pieces per pound of Lego. Again, that's going to vary. That depends, but that's kind of what I use as a metric. There's not an exact science there, because each piece is different. Each piece weighs different things, but roughly speaking, it's generally known about 300 pieces per pound of Lego. Okay? So that adds up to 42,600 pieces in the bulk Lego that I purchased. So you divide that by the $723 that I spent, and you get 0.016 cents per piece. Meaning I spent about a penny and a half per part in all of that bulk Lego. And so that was my goal. And I mentioned this before in previous videos. It was my goal when I was buying bulk Lego to get to that penny, 2 cents per piece kind of sweet spot. Just doing the parts that I got, that I pulled, I have a value on Bricklink of $54. And what parts I got is just this. So just these pieces are $54 in value that I will be uploading to my Bricklink store. And this is only 45 pieces out of the 42,600. Now, obviously, these are higher value pieces, roughly speaking. I mean, some of these torsos aren't super valuable. Again, these were just parts I got, but a couple standouts here. This is a Poe Dameron head. I think that was like $4 or something. This is a droid torso with this paint on it. That's $9 for that piece, which is crazy. This is a Nebula minifig and a Ratchet minifig, and those two came from an advent calendar. And then we have this guy, which I forget what his name was. He was like $4 or $5. And then I also had a Phase 2 Clone Trooper for $9, which is pretty cool. And he's in really, really good shape. So cool to see Star Wars figs. A lot of times they pull all that stuff out. But anyway, a couple other things that were a decent value here. But this is $54 in value for just these parts. And then this was the other minifigure parts that I haven't listed. I haven't listed a lot of just plain legs yet. And then a lot of these accessories, well, the cape I'm definitely keeping for myself. But then a lot of these accessories I just haven't gotten to yet. On top of that, in this bag are all random sealed bags from different sets that were tossed in with the bulk Lego that I got. There's probably like 6 or 7 of these in here. There's figs in here. So who knows what the value of this is, but these are all new pieces because they've never been opened. So that's really cool. Like that can all go into the store. So essentially what I'm trying to do here is I just wanted to sort of do a little math and a little bit of an experiment, and I wanted to share it with you. This isn't necessarily a, should I buy bulk Lego? Is it worth it? I'm not trying to make like this, I don't know. I'm just giving you some rough numbers of what I've done, and then you can take that for what it's worth. If you have a Bricklink store and you've made purchases of bulk Lego, because Goodwill Finds is not the only place you can do this, right? You can do this on Facebook Marketplace. You can find, people are selling bulk stuff all the time. Obviously, figs are the higher value stuff, but there are going to be tons and tons of parts that are in that bulk lot that not only will I be able to use for mocks, but I'll be able to put on my Bricklink store and make some money back. So, I spent $723. There's $54 in value right here, right? So, and there's still pounds and pounds, 140 some pounds still left to go through of pieces, and probably more minifigs, because again, I did not pull out. This is not all that it will be in there. There will be other stuff. I did not do a deep dive. So it was just kind of interesting, and I wanted to do this little math exercise and kind of share this with you. So I hope that this was interesting and helpful, because I found it to be. So again, it's my journey here, and I wanted to just sort of share this with you. Want to show off another Bricklink order. This is from Noah. He is all in $18.70. Some cool parts here. It's nice to see these go. I have a ton of these, and it's nice to see those go. A couple vintage parts, and then a couple droids, and this skiff guy from Star Wars. All Star Wars. So, thanks, Noah. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy your parts. One more order just snuck in. This is going to Rebecca. She's all in $6.28 for these 2 orange slopes. Each of these were over $3. So I don't remember which set these came from, but they clearly were
quite uncommon parts. But there you go, Rebecca. I imagine you're finishing off a set, so good luck with your slopes, and thank you for the order.
There's so many variables that go into this. You know, it's the cost. What are you looking for? What do you value? What do you want to do with the pieces? Are you going to resell them? Are you going to sort them and make your own mocks? Are you trying to rebuild sets? You know, is it going to sit in your storage room forever and then you're going to end up selling it again for a bulk price? You know, it really depends on what you want to do with it. But it was just kind of a cool thing to look back and be like, okay, I think because at first I really was kind of buying, not really understanding the value. I just knew I wanted to get it as cheap as I could. But I didn't really have an idea or a plan for it yet. I wanted to get it as cheap as I could, and I wanted to study the pieces. I wanted to study sort of the hobby a little bit, and I did that through buying bulk Lego. Because again, when I started this whole thing, I really didn't anticipate ever starting a bricklink store. Actually, when I started this thing, I didn't even know bricklink existed. When I started making, when I really started getting back into the hobby, I didn't really know. Bricklink just sort of was like, people started talking about it in the videos I was watching, and then I was like, oh, wow, there's this whole database. That's really cool. But I didn't think much of it. I thought, you know, maybe I'll make some purchases. But I never thought about starting my own store. But I was still buying bulk Lego at the time. So I just sort of kind of fell into this, I suppose. And it's been a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying it. It's so fun to pack orders. I don't know, there's something really satisfying about it. And I enjoy the listing process and the organization already. So it's a fun aspect for me. And it's kind of cool to know that the sort of money I invested in just on that bulk side, when I was just kind of buying a little randomly, not really with any sort of idea, is that it's going to pay off, and it eventually, right, over time, it will be worth it, and I will get to have some fun and earn a lot of that money, hopefully, back that I invested into it, which is pretty cool. And not only that, I'll get more pieces and parts and things to use for my own stuff, my own collection, and mocks, and making videos, and doing all this stuff. So it's a very, very cool thing. So I just kind of wanted to share this with you and go on a bit of a ramble to talk about sort of, I guess, my journey with buying this, and the whole water damage thing prompted this whole thing. So, you know, it's kind of it was a weird, like, positive thing, because now I got everything cleaned up a little bit better and stuff is more organized and ready to be processed in a better way. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But remember, until then, keep on building. Jim